With all the recent talk about DLSS and Nvidia's progression in that, you might have been wondering, hey, can I implement that into my own Unreal Engine game? And let's actually take a look at that today, because it is remarkably easy. Nvidia has a whole webpage dedicated to this very thing, which I will leave in the description down below, but it is developer.nvidia.com/rtx/dlss/get-started. And when you arrive here, you'll see a thing about ray construction coming soon. If you're watching this in the future, you'll probably have some tables and some download links here. Something about the frame generation, and then if you scroll down, you have some more about super resolution. All that we're going to ignore, because these are just like their standalone SDKs. They have an entire Unreal Engine package specifically to work inside Unreal. It's not going to get any easier than this. Inside this package, we have DLSS frame generation. Think of that what you will. We have super resolution, reflex, which ties in with the frame generation, DLAA, which is their anti-aliasing method using AI, image scaling, which of course ties in with super resolution, and then dynamic vibrance, which, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what that's all about, because I mostly care about the super resolution and a little bit of frame gen. So you agree to the terms of service, and then you can simply download any version that you need. We're going to download the Unreal 5.4 version in this case. And while that is downloading, we're going to go ahead and find our Unreal Engine install location. So for me, I already have that ready and good to go here. It might be just in your program files on your C drive. For me, I have it on my D drive because God knows my C drive is way too full as it is. So I have Unreal Engine 5.4 here. Then we're going to go into Engine. Then we're going to go into Plugins. And here you have a whole bunch of pre-installed plugins. So we're going to go for the Marketplace folder. That's the folder that you put in any external plugins, and you can see I have a good amount of them installed here already. For organizational purposes, I like to make a folder, call it something like DLSS, or upscaling, or performance, or Nvidia, or it doesn't really matter what you call it, really. It's just for organizational purposes. And then once the download is done, we have this WinRAR. You can use 7-zip, whatever you like, where we have all the documentation surrounding everything. So that's kind of good to have. We have some sample projects that we'll look into in a moment. And then we have got the plugins folder, which actually has like all these separate plugins. So DLSS is the super resolution, the upscaling plugin. And then Streamline is the frame generation plugin. I'm just going to take everything and move them right over here into the folder that I call DLSS. And that way the plugins will be installed to the engine. And then I'm going to take the samples project and put them somewhere else, not in the install folder for Unreal, obviously. DLSS 3 test, and that's a test project. We'll open that in a moment. I have an Unreal project open right here. After you drag those things in, you'll see that we have all of these things now available to turn on. So this is for the movie render queue for DLSS and DLAA support. I don't really care about that. That's only if you're making renders and you want the renders to go a little bit faster. This is one of those things where I'm like, if you're not doing this for real-time performance, you probably should just stick with longer render times, because this AI upscaling and especially frame gen does introduce some level of artifacts in some cases. So for pre-rendered stuff, I don't really see the use for it that much. But we can turn on frame generation, and we can turn on pretty much the rest, so super resolution, ray reconstruction, and DLAA. It says ray reconstruction. That isn't a completed feature yet. It's not actually available yet, so maybe again, if you're watching this in the future, it will be, and that'll really help you with ray tracing stuff. But let's turn both of those on and restart this project real quick. With everything restarted, if we just open up any random blueprint, I'm going to do it in the level blueprint because it's the easiest to just quickly access. And we right click, we see scrolling down that we now have a thing for DLSS. These are all the functions that are created with these plugins that we can now use. So we can enable the DLSS reconstruction, but again, it is unsupported as of this release. It's just a thing that you can already implement. It doesn't do anything, but in the future it will. More importantly, we can enable the DLSS super resolution, but I don't really think that you want to use this one directly, because it comes with a couple of macros as well, where it sets your DLSS and DLA modes automatically or based on a quality input setting, which is just a little bit more smooth to work with. So generally speaking, I want to say you want to just use the set DLSS/DLA mode with no auto. That gets you this macro, which you can open up to see what it's actually doing. And as you can see, it has the enable DLSS super resolution provided in here. If it has any mode set to it, and if DLA should be enabled or not, and you can just look at this macro on your own time and like figure out how all this works. It uses the input mode to set the internal resolution of Unreal lower so that it can render faster, and then use the AI upscaling to maintain the quality, more or less. So we've got a couple of different DLSS modes here. We can choose whether or not we want to enable DLAA. Again, that is the anti-aliasing solution that comes with all this stuff. Restore full resolution when disabled. So if you turn DLSS mode off, you want to restore the full render resolution. And here we have a handful of options that I'll zoom into. We've got off, which is self-explanatory, just turns everything off, back to the internal native resolution. We've got auto, which kind of guesstimates which one of these presets it should use based on a hardware query. DLAA is only turning on DLAA. And then we've got settings from ultra quality. This will only downscale you a little bit, but does give you some extra performance. And then we've got ultra performance, which will render it at a very low resolution, which will give you a lot of extra benefit and a lot of extra frames to work with. But of course, it's going to have more things like artifacting and weird stuff happening as a result. For the most part, this macro will do. Of course, you can just set your screen percentage manually with a console command and all that stuff, but I wouldn't worry about that for the time being. And now we've also got DLSS FrameGen, which is part of the Streamline plugin. So we can look for Streamline. And here we have some reflex stuff, but what we care about is the DLSS FrameGen, which has a couple of query things, like what mode it is in and whether or not it is supported. You want to check whether or not these features are supported before enabling them, obviously. If you make this into a settings menu, you probably want to gray out all the options for it if you query the graphics card with these functions and it turns out that these functions aren't actually supported. But this is actually fairly simple. We just have a DLSS FrameGen mode node, and then we can set it to on, off, or auto. Now, there's one thing that I should point out, and that is that the FrameGen, if we go into the third person map here and you use the stat FPS command to show the FPS that the engine is running at, you can see it's about 100 for me right now, without any DLSS stuff on. FrameGen will not reflect in this. If you turn on FrameGen, and right now FrameGen only generates every other frame, of course with DLSS 4 it'll generate up to 3 frames in between every actual rendered frame, which might be a bit much, we'll have to see. That will not reflect in this, because that's not actually the engine rendering that frame. That is Nvidia, the GPU itself, taking the last frame and generating frames entirely separate from the game engine. So it might run at like 400 frames per second, but the engine itself is still only going to be aware of the 100 frames that the engine renders. So it's not going to impact anything like your delta time. It's not going to do weird things with your tick. It's a purely visual thing that the GPU outputs and the engine is not even aware of. In contrast to the super resolution, where the internal rendering resolution is lowered, and all the extra frames that you are getting as a result of this are actually frames that are generated by the engine. So if you get 20-30% more FPS as a result of going to like ultra performance mode, those are actually frames that the engine itself is rendering, meaning that things like your tick event are going to run more often. So if you have any code that is tied to tick, do make sure that it is like frame rate independent and all that kind of stuff. You should do that anyway, but it's good to note the difference between the two of those. So here we are in the sample project that comes with the download. I'm going to turn on the stat FPS so you can see it's running at about 90-ish frames per second here for me. And if I play this, you will see it drops down a little bit. We have a bunch of quality settings. Now, there's a couple of things here. Such as the frame gen as a whole has a little bit of difficulty working in the viewport. So that's mostly a thing that you're going to notice in shipping builds. And that's one of the things that you can see down here. In the plugin settings, we can go into Nvidia DLSS, and you can see whether or not it uses certain functions in the editor viewport or not. Most of the time, if you're testing this, you want to either do this as a standalone game or at least as a new editor window. Right now, it seems like things are crashing for me a little bit. I'm assuming that might be due to the fact that I'm also screen recording, which is using my GPU at least partly for like encoding purposes. So we're going to stick to selected viewport. And here you can see this widget has a bunch of stuff in it with all of the code already links to it. So you can just kind of use this widget to base your own settings menus off of. And if we go into the content here, we can see in the blueprints we have UI. There we have all of these different widget blueprints, one of which is the actual thing that's getting added to the screen, which I think might be this one, which has all of the related code. So you can use this as inspiration, or maybe just like take this and change it around a little bit. It does come with a bunch of other like related widgets, and then in the plugins, in the content for it, it also has like these widgets for the actual like controls. So you're gonna need to like copy over quite a lot of stuff if you want to just copy it over. But this is something that can be nice to just like play around with a little bit and have a little bit of fun with. So that's the DLSS for Unreal Engine. Go ahead and play around with it. Don't overdo it, maybe. Again, if you crank these settings up a lot, you're gonna get a lot of frames, but you're also gonna get a lot of artifacting. So try to find a balance between having your frames boosted a little bit, but still having everything look sharp and look good. This is a kind of tool that helps you boost your frame rate. It's not the kind of thing that you rely on to get to a playable frame rate in the first place. And a very big thank you to all my Patreons. You can see them on screen right now. If you want to help support the channel or get any of the project files in any of my tutorials, there's a link down below to the Patreon page to support me, or alternatively as a YouTube member. And of course, an extra massive thank you to my Cave Digger tier supporters, Sir J. Thomas,